tried to minimize the damage by doing that 360. It was just too difficult to keep the tires alive.
Listen, guys, P5, that's what the scoreboard says. That's what the headlines say. But hold on, before you close this video and walk away frustrated, let me show you something. Because Red Bull's engineers, they were not disappointed after Miami. They were smiling. A car that couldn't be trusted for 3 races suddenly showed up with a pulse. A driver who was fighting the machine is now fighting the competition, and a single 360-degree spin might just be the moment this whole season turned around. Stay with me. Let's break it down. But before, if you want more update and news on Max, then hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns. The spin that saved everything. Listen, let's start right there. Turn 2, lap 1. Max loses the rear, the car snaps sideways, and the entire Orange Army watching at home just stopped breathing. But here's what nobody is talking about. The wall was right there, inches. And instead of panic, instead of locking up and punching straight into the barrier, Max executed a full 360-degree rotation and got back on the throttle before most drivers would have even processed what was happening. He said it himself afterwards. "I thought I was going to crash, but I just floored it. If F1 doesn't work out, I can always go rally." That's not luck, that is instinct. That is the kind of reflex that cannot be taught in a simulator or a training program. The car survived, the championship survived, and from P10 on lap 1, Max began hunting through the field one position at a time. But here's where it gets interesting. The spin wasn't even the most important thing that happened to Red Bull in Miami. The car has a heartbeat now. Despite the chaotic start, something was fundamentally different about the RB22 this weekend. Red Bull didn't just bring upgrades to Miami, they brought a B-spec car. New side pods, new floor, new diffuser, a reworked front wing across all 3 elements, optimized for more load and better flow stability. And the result? For the first time in 2026, Max could actually trust the front end of his car. Check this out, his exact words after the session. "I felt that from lap 1 in this car, so now we finally fixed it, and it's lap time for sure." A driver who trusts his car is a dangerous driver. A driver who doesn't trust his car is just surviving. For the first 4 races of 2026, Max was surviving. In Miami, for the first time, he was attacking. Despite this, the job is far from done. Red Bull's own team principal Laurent Mekies admitted openly that they are still not giving their drivers a fully consistent car, lap to lap, corner to corner. So the B-spec is not the finish line, it is the starting gun. Living on the edge of the rulebook. But surviving and attacking isn't enough when you're 74 points behind the championship leader, and Max knows that. How do we know? Because of what happened at the pit exit on lap 6. Under the safety car, Max pitted early to undercut. Coming out of the pit lane, he crossed the solid white exit line. Front left tire over the line, confirmed on multiple camera angles. 5-second time penalty. Now, some people will call that sloppy. I call it something else entirely. That is a driver pushing so hard to recover, fighting to gain every single tenth of a second in every situation, that he's living right on the edge of what's allowed. That's aggressive peak Verstappen. That's the Max who won 4 championships by refusing to give up a single position, a single corner, a single millimeter. And here's the thing, he kept his P5 finish anyway, because Leclerc received a 20-second penalty on the final lap for cutting corners with a damaged car. Drama. Pure drama. Only in F1. The secret weapon nobody's talking about. Here is where it gets really interesting, Orange Army. While everyone was focused on the spin and the penalty, something was quietly happening on the straights that should terrify every team on this grid, the Macarena wing. Red Bull's new rear wing has 2 top flaps that rotate 160 degrees counterclockwise in straight line mode. They don't just rotate, they lift slightly, letting more air through and cutting drag with brutal efficiency. In Miami qualifying, the RB22 was already among the fastest cars on the straights, but, and this is the shocking part, it was being suppressed. Miami's tropical heat, 33-degree air, dense humidity, holding that package back from its true potential. The wing couldn't breathe. Canada averages 15 to 18 degrees in May. Clean, cool, efficient air over the longest straights on the calendar. That Macarena wing was built exactly for that moment, and Montreal is coming. The mind of a champion. Despite all the technical upgrades and the wing secrets, the most telling shift in Miami wasn't visible in the data at all. It was in Max's voice. Listen to his radio messages from the first 4 races of 2026. Tension, frustration. A driver fighting a car that wasn't responding the way he needed it to. Now, listen to Miami. When someone asked about the midfield battles, it's a bit of a jungle in there. Calm, factual, almost amused. On the clash with Russell, he clipped my rear tires out of turn 1. That can happen. No drama, no anger, just processing and moving forward. Here's the thing about Max Verstappen that casual fans miss. Frustrated Max makes noise. Focused Max makes history. The shift in tone after Miami is not a small detail. It is the biggest indicator that something has changed in that Red Bull garage and in that helmet. A calm Max Verstappen is the most dangerous thing in Formula One. The Canada prophecy. So where does all of this lead? It leads to Montreal, May 22nd, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Check this out. 3 reasons why Canada is the race for the Orange Army right now. First, the Macarena wing gets its moment. The long back straight at Montreal is one of the greatest drag reduction opportunities on the calendar. Max will have a genuine top-speed weapon that was neutralized by Miami's heat. Second, the new front-end balance suits the Wall of Champions chicane perfectly. That sequence demands absolute front-end confidence. One moment of understeer and you're in the barriers. For the first time in 2026, Max has a car that responds at the front. He can attack that chicane now. Third, and most importantly, Max is in the right headspace. Focused, constructive, hungry. Not frustrated, not reactive, hungry. 74 points is a gap, not a wall. In 2021, Max was written off 3 times before the final lap in Abu Dhabi. We know how that ended. The final verdict. So listen guys, here is where I land on this. Miami P5 looked like a disappointment, but underneath that scoreboard, something shifted in the Red Bull garage. The car has direction. The driver has trust. The wing has a circuit it was literally built for coming up next. And the mental state of Max Verstappen, the calmest and most dangerous version of him, is back. My personal opinion? Canada is not a guarantee. Mercedes and Antonelli are still fast and still consistent. The gap is real. But if Red Bull bring one more step of development to Montreal and Max gets a clean start, I genuinely believe we see the Orange Army on the podium. The season is not over, not even close. But here's the question I want you to sit with, and drop your answer in the comments below. If Max wins Canada, does the Orange Army actually believe a championship comeback is possible from 74 points down? Or is this just hope talking? See you in Montreal.